Hello, Jeff Helvin here with Ballen Brands, and today I want to show you how to duplicate a page when using the Elementor page builder. So Elementor is a WordPress plugin that we use as part of our website build outs, our business websites, our real estate websites that we do. And I wanted to show you how we can kind of replicate something that we've already built in order to not have to recreate it from scratch all over again. So let me show you an example of what I mean here. So let's say I like this particular page that we built out for our WordPress website hosting. Okay, I've got a title, of course. I've got the nice little intro. I've got 4 little boxes. I've got a pricing table. Go here, I've got a few more boxes. I got a testimonial, and then of course a form. So let's just say I really like how I did that. I've got the alternating sections. This is all just like I like it, and I want to do it again for another service that we offer, for example. Okay, so there's a couple different ways of doing this. There are plugins available, and I'm going to show you that way real quick too, just so you kind of have those options. Sometimes we choose not to use the plugins because it adds additional resources to load the page. So if we care about our SEO and page load times, things like that, we may not want to overdo it on the plugins. But an option that we do have, if I go to plugins, and I click on add new, there's actually an option. Let me pull that up here. If you type in Elementor in your keywords, there's an essentials add-ons for Elementor. So EA for essential add-ons. So I can actually install that. Go ahead and click that here. It says it's installed. I can activate it. All right, so it's now active. Now it has these options, basic. So I have the option to kind of add the basic elements. I could go advanced. If we do different things, we have custom and so forth. So we could just kind of go through these options. Now these are all the elements. So it shows that they're turned on. See all of these here? So I can, creative buttons, team members, testimonials, file boxes. There's some really cool features in here that we can use. So right now, again, I'm just going to turn most things off because I don't want to use it until I find my duplicator option. That's the one I'm looking for, is to be able to duplicate content. So don't see that here on this. I'm just going to go ahead and click next. Event calendars, toggles, there's some pro elements that I can add in there as well, but I'm going to skip that for now. And templates, I mean, again, there's so much stuff in here that's built in and things that we can do. So by default, I had turned basically everything off, right? Just because I want to get this installed and checked out for you. So now, once I'm back to my plugins, I'm going to go ahead. I know it's an extension, so I happen to know that's what it is. And again, by default, it's already got those installed. Now, there is a pro version, which has even more features and things that you can do. But in this case, of course, they're turned off. I just want the actual duplicator. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off table of contents and the JavaScript and scroll to the top. Remember, all of these just adds more resources. So if you're not going to use them, then don't have them turned on. That's our recommendation. I can go to elements and see that those are all turned off. Most of them. Let's just turn them all off. So we'll do enable all and disable all. So now it turns them all off just so I don't have any. And extensions, and I still have that duplicator on. Okay, so now that I have that duplicator on, if I go to, let's say, pages, for example, open that up here, new window, there's this option for EA duplicator. Now, I already have another plugin installed, Yoast in this case, which is an SEO tool that gives an option for cloning pages as well. So you'll see here, I actually already have a clone option. This is not built in by default to WordPress. So these are controlled by plugins that are being added. So there's quite a few different plugins for duplicating. You want to make sure it's something that's compatible with Elementor, of course, because you don't want to just duplicate the page. You want to actually duplicate the Elementor styles as well. So in this case, the EA duplicator would be your most reliable bet, of course, because it is directly integrated with Elementor itself. Okay, so that's one option. Right, I can actually go to any page, say I like that particular hosting page that we built, right? So I'm going to go to that page. Let's see where we at. There we go, WordPress website hosting, and I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate that page. So that is one option, using a plugin Again, add some resources when we use plugins, but if I'm going to use maybe some other features in that particular add-on component, well, then I can just go ahead and use this. It's pretty simple. So it's not much easier. Once you get installed, being able to just click and clone is pretty darn simple. All right, but if we want to save on our resources and not add additional plugins all the time, which is definitely something to consider if we don't always want to keep loading more things on top of the page, there is another option, which is really cool here. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's go to the page that I want to replicate. I want to use this page in another instance for a different service. So I'm going to actually go ahead and just click Edit with Elementor. All right, so what that does is it's going to now reload the page in the Elementor page builder. All right, so we'll load that up here and just taking just a moment. So what it's doing is pulling in all the resources, of course, and all the different fields and things that we can edit. Remember, again, the bigger the page is, the longer things load, the heavier it is. In some instances, it may make sense, to have some of that additional features, but we want to keep it light wherever possible. All right, so now that I have this, there's a little arrow down here on the bottom, this bottom left toolbar that we have next to the update button, and I can actually click on that and save as template. So I can literally just save this particular page as a template. So let's say I want to call this one my services details page, or services layout, we'll call it, because I want to use the same layout on any of the services that we offer. So I'm just going to go ahead and click save. And what that does, it pulls me to my templates and it's going to show that in here. So services layout, for example, right? That's the one I just created here. It shows that when it was created. And I'm not going to hit insert because that would insert it onto this particular page. I don't want to do that. I've already created this particular page. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. And now I'm going to exit back to the dashboard to get out of the original page that I built. But now that I have that as a template, I can go and create any new pages. Go to pages, add new, and we'll call this one cloning a page. We're not technically cloning it, but we're pulling in the thing. So we're going to add that, and we're going to click Edit with Elementor so that we can open back up our Elementor screen. All right, let that load here. It's pulling in our toolbar over here on the left-hand side, and of course our overall theme that we have installed for Elementor. So now that we're here, I actually can click, this is a little template, add template option, okay? So I'm gonna click on add template, that little folder. Now there's pages, there's blocks, we can save all kinds of different things in here, but in this case, I want to go ahead and go to my templates, which is what we just saved, and then we did the services layout. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and click on insert. Now it's asking, do we want to import all the document settings? So document settings would be things like, the width of the page, is there a right sidebar or not, things like that. So we do want to pull all that in because we want to replicate that particular page that we're doing. All right, so we're going to let that here load, and hopefully I created the right one. Yep, I did. I picked the right one. Because I had another template named something similar, so just want to make sure that was correct. So what that does here is it pulls in all of those different pieces, components, and elements, and it just pops it on the page. Now from here, I can just simply edit all the different elements on the page. If I want to change that, change the price, change the the buttons, change the text. And so now I have that same consistent layout, but I can just change the content on it. So it's a few extra steps, but once I've done it once, it's pretty easy. Add new page, insert template, change content, right? I walked you through a couple other steps to get the template in the first place, but once it's in there and you're gonna duplicate it and use it several times, well then you'll see it's actually a pretty quick and easy process. Again, you can use the plugin route, so you can add the duplicate or clone or maybe the essentials add-on for Elementor. Lots of different ways to make that happen, but here's all of your choices, whether you like it, like I said, through the plugins and additional resources, or whether you want to keep it more lean and easy to access. These are your options. So if you have any questions, by all means, you can reach out to us at team@ballenbrands.com.